Welcome back to Breaking Takes, everyone. What is going on?
What is going on? Back in the lab, cooking up some good stuff for this next episode.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready.
And your birthday's coming up, so it's like you're cooking up meth in your green meth lab, but also you should indulge in your birthday tomorrow. It would be wrong not to try some of your own drugs.
Not to try the product, right?
Yeah.
No, my birthday is tomorrow. It's 10/10. So by the time this comes out, it will have passed and I will be in the last year of my 20s.
The last year of life.
Yeah, I mean, I might
Cheers
not make
to
it to 30. Cheers. Crack.
Is that alcoholic?
No,
okay.
This is no, yours isn't either. It's only 12:26 at the time of recording.
So I was thinking about grabbing a birthday drink, but I do have a doctor's appointment directly after this podcast.
Yeah.
So I was just picturing
show up drunk.
Yeah, him asking me the question, so how often do you drink? How often do you smoke?
Oh, I hate those questions.
And I'm like, well, I'm drunk
How
right now.
do you lie with the smell of alcohol on your breath, you know?
Yeah, so I'm currently intoxicated, but I swear other than that, I don't have any problems.
I don't.
No addictions.
I rarely drink.
Yeah, except when I'm podcasting, which is 4 times a week, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm housing down at Trader Joe's sparkling water right now.
Hell yeah.
But I am excited for some birthday drinks. Tomorrow for my birthday, I randomly saw a TikTok earlier in the week and it looked really fun. So I saw a TikTok of these people these adults having the time of their life at like Sky Zone, like trampoline house.
Hell
and
yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm having a lot of energy. Like all I want to do is jump up and down. And I've never been to a trampoline house. So I figured what better time than when you turn 29 than to go to a trampoline house and fuck up some little kids on the trampoline dodgeball course.
Yeah. It starts to get unacceptable to go to places where children gather once you're in your 30s. If you're in your
Gotta do it now.
If you're in your mid-late 20s, you know, you could be drinking out of a brown bag at a playground and it's like, she's 27. She's just a degenerate.
She's just a kid. Yeah.
You're 36. People start to call the authorities. You get put on lists. You have more leeway as a woman because people just assume that when older women are around playgrounds, they're like, you know, they're like there to squeeze the kids' cheeks. They're adorable, you know. They're just hanging out, having a good time. Like I can't go up and squeeze a kid's cheeks in my 30s. And then the mom goes, "Oh, where are your kids?" And I'm like, "I don't have any. I'm just hanging out.
I'm just here.
I'm just here to squeeze some cheeks." So yeah, you've got some more time.
Yeah. I do, and it just it's one of those birthdays that I'm just like, I've had so much going on in my life that I didn't even realize my birthday. I mean, I knew obviously my birthday's in October, like it's coming up, but all of a sudden it was just like, oh, my birthday is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now it's like tomorrow and I'm in that phase where it's like, well, I'm excited for my birthday, but then like it's kind of like, how excited can you get, you know? And then it's going to be over. I'm already sad about it being over.
You can get excited. I mean,
but then it's going to be over in 24 hours. I got 24 hours. And then it's like, got to move on.
So here's the thing. I think it's perfectly fine to be excited about your own birthday in the sense that you say to yourself, this is going to be a day. I give myself some leeway. I'm going to get banged up.
I hope I don't tear a ACL or something.
Yeah, it's a Thursday. Fuck it. I'm going to go jump around. I think the annoying part is when you have someone that's like in the group texting 30 people like, "Oh my God, guys, it's my birthday. What are we doing tomorrow?" And you're just like, it's your birthday. I don't care. Like I see you, twice a year. Well, I'll see you next time I see you. But if you're enthusiastic about your own birthday, I think that's fine. You just go for it, have some fun, and just live in the moment. Do you think Sky Zone is that one of the places that like you can drink when you're doing a dangerous activity, because you're jumping around on a trampoline. There's an axe throwing place down the block from my apartment.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They let you drink while you throw weapons.
Yeah,
like
across the room. Like there's a room.
Sometimes I think about it, Zach, and I'm like, in theory, like anybody could just become an axe wielding murderer, like at these locations, and we're all just like cool with that possibility.
Yeah, like someone just, rips a shot of whiskey or vodka and it just activates their Viking DNA, and they look down at the axe and they see red. They just start fucking
I think
lopping
it's
heads
gonna
off.
happen eventually. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. I've never been to one of those locations, so maybe the axes like aren't that sharp, but I feel like they are because they have to stick into the board.
Yeah.
And I'm just feeling like somebody's going to kill somebody at one of these locations.
Maybe they have really good PR. Do you know the guy? Have you ever seen John Wick?
Of course, yes.
So there's the guy, the cleaning crew he calls, where he gets on the phone after John Wick murders a bunch of people who are trying to kill him, and he says, "I'd like to make a dinner reservation for 12." And then he hangs up, and the cleaning crew goes, "All right, we got 12 bodies we got to clean up." Maybe the axe throwing place has a service like that.
Yeah.
Where some guy just comes in a crazy rage, and they get on the phone and they're like, "It happened again. This guy went fucking berserk. We got 8 bodies." And they go, "Don't worry about it."
They just clean them up.
They come in, they clean up. No Google reviews.
It's like population control.
Yeah.
Like the government is like, "Don't worry about it. We actually need it to reduce some population here."
Yeah, the bodies are spread out all across the United States. The families are given alternate stories, and so this place is able to keep operating. And I think it is crazy because I was thinking this last time I was there, where I think I was on my 3rd beer, and I just wanted to see how much I could keep ordering before someone would step in and tell me, "You should probably stop drinking beers because we're gonna have to cut you off." Like, would it be 7 beers and axes? Like, what did they ask? Like, why did they not ask how many I had before I got here? Like, no one was also like, "By the way, have you been drinking this entire day?"
I don't know. It's fascinating because then, at Sky Zone is essentially like Chuck E. Cheese. So, like, well, there might be alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese now. Because I have no idea.
For parents to tolerate
I don't
that,
think there's alcohol at Sky Zone, and I wasn't planning on drinking any alcohol at Sky Zone because I am getting older. I'd probably just throw up. Like, I can't be chugging beers and then jumping up and down.
Yeah.
That's not good.
The guy behind the counter goes, "Well, I'm sorry, miss. We can't give you beer unless you also hold this axe while you're jumping on the trampoline. Here you go. 2 for 1 special."
Yeah. So I'm going to jump up and down. I'm going to try not to kill anybody. I might hit a child with a dodgeball if they come near me.
As you should.
I mean, there's no age limit, okay? It's like, don't fuck with me, okay? I'm going to tell your kids, if you're at Sky Zone tomorrow, tell them not to fuck with the birthday girl because it's my birthday. I can do what I want.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited to jump and just exert some energy with some friends. And then we're going to hit the bars afterwards. We got to we're going to have to cool down, ice, put some icy hot on the quads and the calves and then go get some drinks.
Yeah. I could see you getting in a physical confrontation with a child tomorrow. Because I feel unhinged right now. Like I feel the most unhinged I've been in years. Yeah, because having a place that's just littered with trampolines, people jumping around. There's going to be at least 3 or 4 kids in that place that are like, "I'm the shit." Their parents never say no to them. They're just going to go up to you. They'll bump into you. Like they'll treat you kind of like you're a barrier, but you're not a human being because you're an adult. Like, you know how when you think of humans, when you think of adults when you're a little kid, you don't really see them as human. They're just like kind of old people that are there.
No.
There's going to be a kid.
Yeah.
There's going to be a kid that tells his friend, he's like, "Watch me do this parkour move off this old lady." And he just steps off, jumps and donkey kicks you in the stomach and just launches off you. And then you have to put that kid in line. You have to mess that kid up.
And I will. I'll teach them a valuable lesson.
Yeah. And what it's like to lose your parents. Just
exactly.
Gonna kill the kid's parents in front of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to me. And yeah, I guess like I'm thrilled to be 29 and podcasting in my meth lab. Like my life is just, it couldn't get any better.
You're in a great place. This might be the
I know.
This might be the peak. We'll see how high you can get.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a story. Speaking of Sky Zone, it was called Sky Zone, jumping around, doing things in the air. I do have a story about skydiving.
Okay.
So this comes to us from the beautiful publication of Daily News, Daily something. Someone was writing about skydiving.
One of the
obviously
credible sources.
One of the skydive beat writers, just the guy on the news that just covers skydiving accidents, the skydiving culture.
Yep.
The skydiving instructor at a troubled California center gets prison time. So this story goes,
Dang.
A California skydiving instructor who fraudulently trained new instructors at the Lodi Parachute Center in San Joaquin County, Joaquin Phoenix, something like that. San Joaquin County included one who died while tandem jumping with an 18-year-old high school graduate in 2016. He has been sentenced to 2 years in prison. So I want you to take a look at what the sign for this place looks like, and you tell me whether or not you think this is an above-board operation. So I'm going to text you. This is what everyone sees when they're driving in.
I can't wait.
Sending that to you right now.
I'm just imagining like the Four Seasons total landscaping.
Yeah. You tell me what that looks like to you.
Oh my. I'm not going here.
Are you surprised?
So this picture, I mean, I mean, you think you would maybe. Okay, so this sign is quite literally a piece of plywood that is painted white very shittily, probably like 5 years ago, with the word skydive on it, and arrows pointing, I guess, the direction of the business. And it's being held up by like a flat tire and an old wheelbarrow.
Yes.
Wheelbarrow? I don't even know. And yeah, it looks like it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
It looks like this is the door from a hotel, or not even a hotel. This looks like the door from a motel that someone got murdered at, and then the motel had to close down, so they
refurbished the sign.
They just trashed it. Yeah, someone found this sign in a garbage yard.
Piece of plywood.
And was like, oh, I'm opening a totally above board skydiving operation. Let me use this sign. And I just want to say that I'm just noticing this now. There are 3 arrows painted on the sign, but they're each faded to different extents. So that means that this person painted on the arrow, waited for one to fade, and then was like, damn, people aren't going to know to turn here. I got to paint another arrow. Yeah. That one fades, paint another arrow. That one fades. So yeah, it looks like someone, if you told someone you have to both get your skydiving license and open up a skydiving terminal in the same day, this looks like the sign that someone would put up just in a mad rush to open up their doors the next day. Because they didn't even have
time to get like a proper stencil because the paint of the letters is also not the same size. Like the S in skydive is like a thick paint
Oh yeah.
line, and then the letters get skinnier as they go.
Yeah. It almost looks like an accident because, like you said, there's the tires, there's the wooden logs.
Somebody fell out of plane there once, and they were like, "Oh, you can skydive here."
Yeah, yeah. They weren't planning on making a skydive sign, and they were like, I guess we're gonna open it up now. But it just looks like sort of an accident of trash that someone put together. And I pull up to the place, being like, "Hey, I saw there was a skydiving place here on Google Maps, but it looks like this is sort of like a junkyard with a skydiving sign. Are you guys still operating?" So that's sort of the vibe of what we're looking at here. And just as a reminder, this story is about a skydiving instructor fraudulently trained new instructors, including the one who died, who was a high school graduate in 2016. And that skydiving instructor who was working at this, totally top of the line place was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Robert Pooley, 49, Ferda. Robert Pooley, that's what he said when he jumped out. He's like, "Ferda boys." The last thing I'm ever going to say. Robert Pooley, 49, of Acampo, California, was sentenced on Monday after being found guilty in May of running unauthorized tandem skydiving courses at the beleaguered site in San Joaquin County that has seen 28 deaths since
Oh my God.
Since 1985, 28 people have
splattered a lot
against the ground.
That's not that long ago. I mean, the 80s were a minute ago, but I hear that skydiving is like not that dangerous. So I don't think like 30 people should have died.
Yeah, no, that's over one every other year since 1985. That's like if you didn't have a death.
I'm not going there.
Yeah. If you didn't have a death in the last 2 years, it's like, oh, we're due for 2 this year.
Like, oh, we're doing really good, actually. Like,
exactly.
Nobody's died yet.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, this guy got 2 years in prison for essentially murdering 28 people, which is an absolute steal on this instructor's end.
I was going to say 2 years isn't a long time.
Yeah, people go to jail for life for murdering one person. This guy got 1 year per 14 murders. So
that's incredible. While he's in there, he can legitimately just keep working on his business plan. By the time he comes out, he's going to have like an even better plan moving forward of how to gain profit and more lives as well.
Yeah, it's like everyone
profit
else
and bodies.
Everyone else in prison was in there for like being a drug kingpin or Grand Theft Auto, and they're working on their next scheme of like, I'm going to make my Grand Theft Auto operation better. I'm going to steal some more cars once I get out of prison. Other guys are like, I'm going to rob banks again. Like they're working on their criminal plans while they're locked up. And this guy is like, yeah, so I'm going to try to not murder people when I have them jump out of planes.
I'm just trying to figure out like how they're dying. Like he's in there like, I just don't know what's going wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it the shitty parachutes or what is it? Like, what is going wrong?
Yeah, I would just like to share something real quick. So my wife just walked back in during the podcast, and she slid me a note that said, "Is Sam stuck inside Beetlejuice's universe?"
Tell her I'm in a meth lab. Obviously, I'm at work, Julie.
Yeah, she's in a meth lab, so you better learn your place. You better, get your operations in order.
Seriously.
Before you accuse
I know
my guest.
people.
We did see the new Beetlejuice last night, so it is fresh on both of our minds.
I want to see the new Beetlejuice. Was it good?
It was. It kind of like, imagine where you are right now, except the actors from Beetlejuice. It was
incredible.
It was a I'll just say it was good. It was
great. I love the original, and I love
yeah.
that they, got like Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder back into their roles. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they kept the original like silly goofiness about it, because there are a lot of sequels, a lot of time passes, and then like it doesn't keep the original spirit of the first one.
I mean, he's literally insane. Like, that's the best part of Beetlejuice is like the characters just being so bizarre.
Yeah. So yeah, there's in Beetlejuice, there are a lot of wacky things that happen, and I bet when people go to this skydiving place, they're like, yeah, there are probably a lot of wacky things that are happening here, because I dropped off my entire family and only 2 of them
there's like a graveyard
back
in the back.
Yeah.
There's just like a memorial grounds that you can see when you're like falling to the earth. It's like, oh, and over there's our beautiful memorial grounds of all the fallen victims that didn't make it.
Yeah, you're just turning to one of the other instructors, and you're like, yeah, the guy behind the counter, he asked me to pick out a coffin size when I was putting on my parachute. Is that part of the normal?
Purchase.
Yeah, is that part of the normal process? I've never done this before.
Yeah, in the very fine print, it's like you could die, and 30 people already have. Just so you know.
Yeah, just for shits.
Just want you to know.
Just want you to know. What the one thing you can't accuse this place of is not letting people know before the skydive happens.
Yes.
But actually he probably could, because he is a fraudulent skydiver. So he was probably like, yeah, we've got 30 deaths in the last 2 years, and they're like, wait, how many years did you just say? And he's like, yeah, 27 years.
That is crazy.
2 years,
like
28
I can't
deaths.
Get over the number. Like,
28 deaths in 1 month.
It's just insane, honestly. And I also, so you said he was running like an illegal, like he was not licensed to do this, which is kind of insane. So he was just a guy that liked jumping out of planes, and then was like, I could teach people to do this.
Yeah, he was a guy who liked jumping out of planes. I'll tell you a little bit more about him. So this guy Pooley was actually certified as an instructor since the 80s, but he was suspended in 2015. After that suspension, after that suspension, he continued to train more than 100 new instructors using the digital image of the signature of another certified instructor, which he probably got killed. So that's how he was able to get away with it. He just probably stole that dude's identity. He used another instructor's signature fraudulently to sign off on the training courses. Pooley charged around $1,100 for each training course.
Damn, I'd be pissed if I spent $1,100 and like, I guess then they're not even certified because they didn't even get trained by a licensed individual. No. So like you spent money and I honestly wouldn't even be mad though if I was them, because I'd just be happy that I'm alive.
Yeah.
If I was one of the people to find out, be like, okay, so I'm not actually certified because this guy was a liar, but he's got like 30 bodies, and I'm just happy that I wasn't one of them.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be mad either way, because you'd either be lucky to be alive, like you said, or you'd be a pancake with whatever happens, whatever people think, because I don't know what happens when you die, but when your pancake body flattens and your soul gets squeezed out, before you know it, you're dead, and you're just either the lights go out or we're in some other ethereal consciousness of the universe that's connected to this one, or maybe it's not connected to this one, or who knows what happens. But either way, you're not angry. You're either a floating. You're
glad to be alive or happy you're dead.
Yeah, that was the motto. That's what it said on the other side of the sign.
Like spray painted on the plane.
Yeah. Glad to be alive, brother.
I wouldn't want to know what it's like. Like, obviously, I don't want to ever be in that position. But I'm just wondering, like, if you are falling to the earth and you're realizing, like, okay, like, the parachutes didn't work or whatever, like, I'm fucked. I would just hope to God I passed out of, like, fear. Yeah. Before, but I'm worried I wouldn't, because I'd be so like the whole time that I would literally I would be conscious all the way until I just totally smacked into the earth.
So I was actually.
Or would you pick up too much speed and like start to black out?
Well, you stop at terminal velocity, which I think is around 120 miles an hour. You just can't get faster than that without some sort of propulsion device. I'm just imagining you skydiving with the fraudulent instructor, and your chute doesn't open, and you're looking at him like, what the fuck do I do? And he just turns on his jetpacks and flies away, and you're like, well, I'm fucked. I wish he told me about that. I guess.
Yeah, I wish I had a jetpack. What the fuck?
But so I was thinking about that too. What happens if you come to the realization that your chute's just not going to open? Because I went skydiving once. And this is the progression of emotion from jumping out of the plane. So I jumped out. Your stomach drops, for me at least, like a roller.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal.
Like a roller coaster times 1,000. Mm-hmm. You know, just like that feeling you get when you're right at the tippy top before the drop sets in. That stomach butterfly feeling. You know. Times a million, whatever it is. And then that lasted about 5 seconds, I want to say. And then after that, you start to just level out and you're yelling, but then you realize the dropping feeling stopped because you're equalized with the air pressure. So it feels like you're floating. And I was probably screaming for another 10, 15 seconds. And keep in mind, these are all estimates because you know, I was borderline shitting my pants. So if you told me the skydive lasted 2 hours or 2 weeks, I would have been like, that makes sense. I think I went through a portal halfway down and time stopped. But then, so after about 10, 15 more seconds, I stopped screaming. And then my instructor tapped me on the shoulder and just pointed because you can't hear shit. And then I'm looking out at the Grand Canyon because that's where we jumped over. It would have been funny if like I looked out and it's the Grand Canyon. I'm like, we did this in New York. How the fuck?
How did we get here?
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
What is that?
Yeah, this wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, it's like either you drifted all the way there via like a tornado, or there's a fucking canyon in New York that we haven't discovered that they're keeping under wraps, like Area 51.
Yeah, the instructor's just looking at his GPS. He's like, well, I guess we're slightly off course, just about 3,000 miles. And so I'm looking out, jumped over the Grand Canyon, instructor taps me on the shoulder. I'm so like, you get to this serene place, like as serene as you could be falling over 100 miles an hour through the sky. But I remember I stopped screaming and I was just looking out at the canyon. And that was the next 20, 25 seconds until the chute pulled, and then we're just drifting down. But I imagine.
Now, when they pull the chute, what is that like? Because I know you pull it and then you get like sucked backwards.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tug. It wasn't as big as the tug makes it seem in the movies, like when someone pulls it and they fly up above the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Like you do go up, but because it's happening to you, like I'm not watching it happen to someone else, it doesn't feel crazy. Like it just feels like a little jolt and then you slow down. So before.
Do you see something? Hold on. Do you see something?
Yeah, I see 2 thumbs.
Did a thumbs up just pop up on your screen?
No. Did you get a thumbs up?
Yeah, when you just like went like that, like a thumbs up just popped up on the screen. Look, it's doing it again.
Oh my God.
What is that mean?
I don't know. I guess Riverside.
Life is just giving us thumbs ups right now.
Yeah, so just for context for people that are listening to this, so Riverside apparently, which is what we record the podcast on, the video version, apparently now if you make an emoji signal to the screen, it shows you that emoji in emoji
we didn't
form.
need this. Like just
No.
a shout out to Riverside. We didn't actually need that, but thank you.
If I whipped out my cock right now, would it show an eggplant? Do they have that built in?
Right.
So I'm falling. I'm, the last like 20 seconds before the chute is pulled, I feel calm. Like you're just looking out. You're like, damn, you're so present. You're not thinking about shit. So if I thought my chute was not going to pull, that means I'd be falling for a few minutes because you're just like in that state of you feel like you're kind of floating before you hit the ground. I imagine I would freak out for all of about the last 20 seconds of the fall, and then once you get to a certain point, you're just like, maybe
whatever.
I'm not going to look. Maybe you flip over. Maybe
close
you're just
my
like,
eyes.
yeah, close your eyes and you just sink into the abyss. And you can only scream so long.
You would die like so fast, I feel, because as soon as you hit the earth, like your neck is snapped. Done.
Yeah. And whether you live or you die, because there are crazy stories of people who they'll crash
somehow
into trees.
live. Yeah.
But either way, you're losing consciousness. So it's like your lights are going out immediately. And I think that there would be some peace on that fall, even if you knew you were gonna die, because it's like,
I think so.
What is gonna happen?
I feel like that's what people say, like that you find peace before you die, I guess. But I don't know how much I think I only believe that when you're like old or you're sick and you've kind of had like the death approaching anyways, and you kind of go into it. I don't think I'm gonna find peace if I just get in a car accident.
No.
Like I don't think there's any time for finding peace and drifting into death.
No, because there's no realization. You're driving 1 second and then you get T-boned by a Mack truck in 2 milliseconds. So you're just gone. It's skydiving. At least you
got a little time. You got 20 seconds.
You got more than, you probably got like 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, depending on how high you jump from to just take it in. And I guess if I think instead of if I wasn't able to find peace and I was like, I'm gonna try something, what I would try is I would attempt to maneuver my instructor underneath me, because when you're tandem, someone's strapped to your back. I would just sort of like give into it and be like, all right, like this is it, and put my arms out. And at the last second, bring my arms in and try to barrel roll so my instructor hits the ground first, and then just
land on
his
top
guts.
of them.
Yeah, somehow just I land in a pool of organs, and somehow I'm not dead. Like I'd still be pretty fucked up, but you essentially use your instructor
You're
as a
like
pillow.
gently resting inside their rib cage.
Yeah, and I'm just like, phew, like I'm just like wiping their blood off of my face.
Are you good back there?
Phew, that was close.
Because you're still strapped in. You're like, oh, are you good? You good, friend?
Yeah. And I mean, it is Halloween.
No answer.
It is Halloween, so you could just like walk into town as covered in blood and guts.
It's no big deal. Like 28 people have already died there. What's another?
Yeah. What's one more?
It's really not a big deal. It's funny that you're bringing this up because my sister is going skydiving. So my sister is older than me. She's like 41. So that makes it more funny to me because like this is a midlife crisis potentially. But she's actually kind of doing it for a good cause. So she has a friend
who runs a fraudulent skydiving
place. And
she's trying to help him out.
Yeah, exactly. So, but she has a friend that got diagnosed with like a brain tumor. Like he's like terminally ill. And that's
not funny at all.
No, it's not. But like he, what are you going to do? Right. So he is obviously expected not to live much longer. And so he was like, I want to go skydiving. And my sister was like, all right, like let's I'll do it with you. So she was, I texted her because she was actually supposed to go already, but I didn't see any pictures of it. So I was like, what happened? She said it got rescheduled because of low-lying clouds. So now she's supposed to go this weekend. And she says, if it gets canceled again, I guess I'll take it as a sign to not do it.
Yeah.
But I hope it doesn't get canceled. And she said something that was pretty funny to me because she's like definitely gonna pee her pants. Like 100%. Like she doesn't have a strong hold on her bladder. Like she's had 3 kids. She's peeing her pants.
It's loose guts down there.
Yes. And she was like, but I'm not worried about it because it'll dry. As she falls, like all the pee will just kind of like it is. She probably will piss her pants and somehow still land with dry pants.
Yeah, they land and she's like, "Thank God, all my pee dried." And then she turns around and her instructor's just wiping the fucking piss off his goggles, like, "Oh, you're peeing my face the whole time. How is that possible?"
I do think that
no one's
that's
ever
what's
done it
gonna
that
happen.
Long.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. So I wish her good luck. And hopefully she's not number 30 or 29 on the list of bodies.
Yeah, well, definitely don't go to that place. And I'm just thinking, like, I
don't know where she lives, Zach. It looks like it could be that place.
We'll send it to her after, just in case. Now I'm thinking. You said it's her friend that has a late stage brain tumor, right?
Yes.
Is it a he, she?
Yes, it's a he.
I hope he lives long enough to do all the things he wants to do.
Absolutely.
But now that I'm thinking about it, skydiving would be a sick form of euthanasia. Like if you got up there and you were like, I've got 2 months left. 6 weeks of that is just going to be me lying in a hospital bed feeling like shit. Don't pack my parachute. You're just looking in your instructor's face like, this is it. Don't cut my parachute, unpack it. I'm going to jump out and just wear the wind wherever the wind takes me.
Wherever the wind takes me.
I'm going to literally wear the wind as my suit.
Wow.
And I'm going to ride it into the ether, and wherever I end up, I end up. And I think that would be not a bad way to go because it's instant. Like you go from like, oh, this is sick to like, boom, instant, done.
You should be allowed to die any way you want to die. If you are at a point where it's like you're terminally ill or you're so old that you're like miserable now, like whatever it may be, like if you are expected to die within like a year, you should be allowed to choose your method.
Yeah.
Like we should just be letting people like bungee jump without the bungee, Yeah.
If
that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
If they want to go swimming with sharks, let them swim with the sharks. Okay?
There was a guy who was designing a euthanasia coaster, and I think he was going to do it in a country where euthanasia was legal.
Yeah.
But then I think it got shut down or something happened. But
a blast!
Literally,
you go so fast, and then your neck is just like.
So the design behind it was that you go down the coaster, and it's designed to give you so much G-force.
Gotcha.
And the human body can only withstand so much G-force for a certain period of time before you're dead. So this would, you'd get such a force out of it that you would just black out, and then you stay blacked out, and that's it. Like the last thing in your life is you going like, ah, and then you just fucking black out and die. So
that's wonderful.
I hope they build a euthanasia theme park where you just like a sick
every ride.
Yeah, literally. Why not? Like, why not make death fun? If I have stage 4 cancer, I want to walk into a Six Flags and choose how I go out. That would be fucking
kind of
sick.
Insane, like to think the employees though, like in the morning, there's there's like big lines of like people trying to get in with tickets and stuff, and then like by the end of the day, like everybody's just dead in the park. The parking lot is still like full of cars, but like everyone's dead.
Yeah, you're just stepping over bodies to get to your car. And you're like, well, another day on the job, another job well done.
Yep. The tow trucks start rolling in. Got to get these cars out by the morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing about this skydiving instructor to wrap up. So this guy Pooley, it says that he wasn't only using the digital image signature of another instructor, he was falsely telling students that he was a tandem examiner. And after deaths, numerous victims of Pooley's scheme, I guess like family members, people who knew the victims, asked for their money back, but he did not repay them. And I'm just imagining this guy working a no refunds into a death conversation. Like you're this
no
family. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This family is waiting, in the waiting area of the skydiving center. They send off 3 siblings, 2 come back, and this guy comes out and he's like, hey, I'm Instructor Pooley. I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sure little Timmy was a great guy. And I really want to show you how much we value Timmy at my establishment, which is why I'm going to give you 20% off your skydiving fees. And he just starts to clap. Everyone in the center just starts clapping.
The lights in the room start going, strobe lights.
Every parents are crying. Like the sister's like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, all right, 30% off. Absolutely no refunds though. That's all right. We can't give full refunds, but we do believe in discounts.
That's right.
Just think about your life's son got discounted, or your son's life.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, discount on your fucking life.
Yeah, your son's
take 30% of your life away.
Yeah, 30% for 30 years. That's what we believe here at Joaquin Skydiving Center.
Yeah, I feel like we could make like a TV show about this place, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like Danny McBride.
The Office-centric TV show.
I could see Danny McBride being the skydiving instructor, just like a Kenny Powers-esque dude. Just fucking like his parachute's the American flag. He has the curly mullet, the goggles.
Hell
all right,
yeah.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's go.
So yeah, don't go to that place.
Speaking of places that definitely aren't up to code and not licensed, I know we all know the Tiger King. That place was absolutely not up to code.
No.
And didn't somebody die too? There were like a couple people. One person got mauled and then like another person killed themselves, I think. I don't know. I got to rewatch.
While they were getting mauled?
No. That would make more sense. So I watched a documentary on HBO that was very much like the Tiger King meets the Jinx, which are 2 of like the greatest documentaries of all time, in my opinion. Now,
remind me of the Jinx again.
The Jinx is that documentary about Robert Durst, who killed his wife and then killed his friend and like neighbor, and he was just some mega rich guy. So he was like getting away with it, and the whole documentary, it was like the best documentary ever because it's getting filmed in like real time basically, and what he didn't know was that the documentary crew was like kind of setting him up and like trying to get him like busted for these murders. And like he was eventually, he got so old that he forgot he was mic'd up and went to like the bathroom and was kind of like mumbling to himself and like admitted that he killed them all. And so then it was just a really crazy documentary because it was incredible to watch it go down, and like the crew got him busted. And so this documentary on HBO, it's called Chimp Crazy. And so that's where I'm getting, it's kind of like Tiger King because it's about like this crazy lady that's like obsessed with chimps. But it was kind of like the Jinx. But I don't want to spoil it for the listeners, but just with what I just said about the Jinx, just watch the documentary and see what happens. So these people are fucking nuts. And I just want to talk about like a little bit of the documentary and also just like the craziness behind people that like take care of wild animals like this and think that it's just a casual thing and that they're like babies.
Yeah. Like they treat them like their own children, that they could never do any wrong.
Yes.
Insane.
So I wrote down, like, as I was watching the documentary, I was just writing like bullet points of what the fuck was going on. So my first bullet point is these people are nuts. Because it follows this one lady and she's just like loves these fucking chimps. And it's so insane because one of these ladies, she had an actual human baby. And she also had a chimp baby. And I'm not kidding you. She literally nursed this chimp baby on her actual tit.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not kidding. She had her real baby on one tit and the chimp baby on another tit.
I hear women complain about human babies tearing up their nipples.
That's what I was thinking.
I can't imagine a fucking chimpanzee latched to your tit.
No, like, I fear the suction of that.
Like it's gone. Your nipple's gone. Like you don't have a tit in it. It's just like a piece of fat without a nipple.
Yes.
It's just like a hole. It's like a fat piece of fat with a hole in it.
Exactly. So that we have to just understand that this is mental illness, because the husband of this lady, he's like talking to the camera. He's like, yeah, I came home from work one day and there she was sitting in the chair. She had our baby on one breast and the chimp on the other. And he just like moves on about his life. And I'm like, wait, stop. You can't just move on casually from that.
And so she would do both at the same time. She'd have a human baby on one nipple and a chimp on another. And she'd just be sitting on a rocking chair.
Yep.
Just like, just petting them like they're both the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I hope she would do the chimp in public spaces like other women would breastfeed, but just not say anything.
Right.
Like she would just whip. When
somebody's like, oh my God, she's like, don't talk about my baby like that.
Yeah, don't talk about Steve like that. That's my fucking 9-month-old son.
What's wrong with you? Don't disrespect someone's baby.
Yeah.
The next bullet point is that then there's this guy he likes to take care of chimps. He's talking about the chimp. He's like, this chimp would never harm anybody. Mind you, Zach, he's telling me this. He's looking into the camera. He's telling me this information. And it is very clear that his nose has already been ripped off by a chimp. He literally got his fucking nose ripped off by a chimp. And he's still there. He got it reattached, but it looks fucked up. I mean, you can't just put it back on perfectly.
Yeah. It zooms out, and he just has a left arm missing that was clearly ripped off, just like the shred's still coming out of it. It zooms out a little bit more. He's just sitting on a wheelchair with two stubs and just talking about how this chimp would never harm a fly. The chimp's currently ripping off the other arm, like the one limb he has left, and the guy's like, Sam would never harm a fly. He's been in our family for 5 months, and we'll have him for 50 more years.
The cameraman's like pointing to the nose, like, but he's like, oh, this? Oh, that was nothing.
Yeah, that's just a Tuesday.
That just happens sometimes.
That's what happens when you run. That's what happens when you run out of ice cream, and little Sammy gets a little mad, and he rips your nostrils off. Well, that's just chimp life.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy because I like chimps too. Like, primates fascinate me because they are so human-like. And I do understand that these people, I mean, if you really like boil it down, these people obviously are extremely lonely, or they have like issues with like maybe their children growing up and they like want to have another baby. So now they're like caring for this chimp or something. Like, there's definitely a lot of mental illness there.
Yeah.
But we can't have humans like taking care of chimps, like, and like because they don't just take care of them. Like at the zoo, they're like eating dinner with them and sleeping in bed with them and watching TV and going to the park and everything else. And the lady that, I think it's the same lady, the nursing the tit lady, she at one point in the documentary profusely states that she loves her chimp, which his name is Tonka. She loves her chimp Tonka more than she loves her kids. She verbatim said that. Me. And then the kids are there like, yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like mom just like really loves this chimp like even more than us. And like rewind 5 seconds ago when she said that verbatim, that she does in fact love this chimp more than she loves her kids.
And look, that's a good way to get your kids to compete and become better people, is to raise them with wild animals like chimpanzees, lions, tigers, grizzly bears. You just house your children with wild animals and you say, look, you're never going to live up to being like Timmy the lion. He's so much stronger. He's so much faster. You're such a human soft piece of baby shit. Why don't you be more like Timmy the lion? And then that ignites a drive in your kids to want to be the best. And then ultimately they'll probably watch their parents get eaten alive in front of you or in front of them and be traumatized for life. But that's just the name of the game of trying to raise decent children.
Yeah, no, I agree. So to continue on this journey, basically this lady, like, not to like totally spoil it, but also spoiler alerts. So this lady is obsessed with her chimp Tonka, but PETA, the administration, is like coming after her because obviously it's not suitable to take care of a grown chimp. Like, there is science. There is like, they basically say once a chimp kind of reaches like a certain age, they like cannot be around humans anymore because they just get too mature and too strong. And like you're no longer, it's just like you can't be around them.
And that age is 3 months old. And then a chimp can fucking rip. I picture a
3 days.
month. Yeah. Like a 6-month chimp could probably rip my fucking throat out if it wanted to. Like, that's insane.
I do think it's longer because they are primates. Chimps do stick with their mom for like quite a while. So I think it's more like 3 years or something like that. And then they're kind of like, okay, now they're in adolescence and
now I can kill my mom.
Yeah, now they can kill.
Yeah.
So basically PETA is after her. The law is after her because PETA has taken this to like court and has been like, this chimp is not being properly cared for because it's just chilling with this lady and it's sucking her tit.
Yeah. So it's getting something out of it. The chimp, it's getting milk and possibly pleasure, and so is the woman, apparently.
Right? So PETA's after her. So then all of a sudden the chimp just like vanishes. It disappears. And she's like, I don't know where he went. I have no idea where he could have gone. Mm-hmm. So it turns out that basically she took him from, because there was like a big like enclosure. They knew where he was. She took him from that and put him in her basement, which is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that you love these chimps and then put it in your basement with no other chimps. Like, they're pretty social creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm guessing, so PETA wasn't able to get in her house. They don't have the authority.
They didn't know where. So that's where it comes in, where this is like the jinx. They didn't know where the chimp was. The only people that knew where the chimp was this documentary crew and the lady herself. So the documentary crew was like following this whole thing. They're filming her. They are getting close to her and she trusts them. And then ultimately the documentary crew essentially like rats her out to PETA. And PETA and the police come and take the chimp. And she's like devastated by it. But, you know, they did it because it's like you can't, you're, with a normal person with a moral compass, you look at the environment and it's like sad. And also it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's also a confliction for the documentary crew, because you could on the one hand go, yeah, we should probably tell someone about this, that this woman is keeping a fucking, close to fully grown chimpanzee in her basement. On the other hand, we could have a really sick ending to this documentary.
Well, they did.
A lot of carnage.
There's a lot of
views.
Reviews. So it gets a bit crazy. So there are a lot of reviews that are like, I couldn't watch this because the documentary crew let this go on for a while. Obviously, they did, they let it go on for a while to get material. They ultimately turned her in because she told them that she was going to kill the chimp. She was not actually going to kill the chimp. It was more just a diversion to be like, oh, I'm going to kill him and like get rid of him.
Yeah.
So I don't have him anymore and I can't go to jail or anything. But so then they were like, okay, that's a threat on the chimp's life. And now I'm going to go tell PETA and stuff. But
so the crew didn't give a shit about the woman. But once the woman was like, I'm going to harm the chimp, the crew was like, we should probably tell someone. The woman could get eaten. And that's fine. That's good film. That's good TV. But
no, and it gets crazier. So then the chimp gets taken, but I think she's still, like, legally, she's not allowed to have any primates anymore.
Yeah.
However, she's definitely still doing undercover primate shit. I don't know exactly what, but
going to meetings. She's going to warehouses.
Because, Zach, at the end, so, like, the whole documentary, it's 4 episodes long. So it's like 4 hours of material at least, and the whole time she's like, I just love chimps, they wouldn't harm a fly, my Tonka's the best, he's my son, I love him more than my human son. And then at the end, guess what happens?
She breaks into a zoo and breastfeeds wild cats because she can't find any more chimps.
She gets mauled by a chimp. After it all said and done. Now, it could have been worse. She's like fine. She didn't get her full face ripped off like that one horrible story. But she literally did get mauled, and there should have been a trigger warning, I think, because I'm kind of queasy. Her whole fucking ear got ripped off. Her entire ear.
What do her tits look like? I want to know what her tits look like.
They look like monkey tits. I mean, have you seen like mama chimp tits?
Yeah, they literally just like long string cheese flappy tits from
That's her.
From adolescent chimps just fucking tugging on them with their teeth.
That's her. And now she only has one ear.
But both tits.
Yeah, both tits, one ear. YOLO. She can't legally have any primates, so what does she do? She makes a zoo. She basically made a zoo with like a whole bunch of other animals, like crazy animals, because this all takes place in Missouri, which I didn't realize is kind of batshit crazy. So in Missouri, there are no laws about any sort of animals. Like, you can keep a chimp, you can keep a tiger.
That tracks for Missouri.
Right?
That's something I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that here. If I bought a house in Missouri and someone was like, you could own anything, right? There's no laws about what you can have.
I didn't realize how insane Missouri was. So she runs this zoo for a while. She gets mauled again. No big deal. Then she sells the zoo because she wants money. And so the documentary ends with her. Well, no, she didn't sell the zoo, but it's in her plans. It ends with her saying she wants to sell the zoo and buy, and there's this island in Connecticut that she wants to buy.
Epstein's Island. She just wants to run.
She can legally have all the chimps that she wants.
She wants to be a chimp.
She's
Epstein.
Dreaming big.
She wants to have her own private island full of chimps, far away from society. Yes. She's going to have like
Let her live.
Chimp trafficking network, Epstein style. She's going to go all out. She's going to have like a chimp temple, like from Planet of the Apes. She's gonna wire the whole thing with video cameras, audio tapes. She should start a chimp OnlyFans. It's a missed opportunity if she hasn't started an OnlyFans, because there are people that are into that shit, and she'd probably make some bucks. Especially in Missouri.
I mean, she definitely could. I guess she's been doing her research on available islands.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can look up how much this island costs.
Do you know?
Connecticut remote island. Outer Island is a 5-acre island located in Long Island Sound. It is one of the Thimble Islands. Okay, so there's nobody there. Let's see. Outer Island cost. Is it up for sale? Like, can she even buy it? Like, is it for sale?
If it's affordable. What if we look up the island and it's like $2,000? we should just buy an island and make a studio.
I think that this is you know what I liked about this documentary is that she is a dreamer, and she's so far gone. So far gone. It's just like Tiger King. Like, he was so far gone. It's terrible that I love to watch documentaries like this because it is fucked up to the animal. It's kind of fucked up because these people are clearly mentally challenged. I mean, something's not going right up there. And I love every second of it.
Yeah. This
and
lady,
I just eat it up.
This chimp lady is a good example of why the metaverse is a positive thing, because you can take people like this who they go, yeah, breastfeeding chimps is my favorite thing to do. And you go, oh, you're crazy. We'll put these goggles on you and you can just live inside this world where you're just breastfeeding chimps constantly. And then society doesn't have to deal with you. You just, because she's basically making her own metaverse. She's like, I'm exiting society. I'm going on Chimp Island, and I'm gonna get my tits sucked by all the chimps I can find.
She was gonna name it Tonka Island after her chimp that got seized from her.
Good. I'm glad she's
like
memorialized,
hunting down. And so I want you, and I encourage the listeners to just look this lady up. Her name is Tanya Haddix, spelled Tonia.
Okay.
Haddix. Just look at her. Just look at some pictures, and see if you think she's a reasonable individual.
Let me look her up and give you my first impression. So you said it's Tanya Haddix.
Tanya Haddix. Tonia.
She's got huge tits. God damn.
Those milkers were milking.
No wonder why she kept going for so long. She had a lot to give. Multiple chimps could latch on at the same time. Those are fucked. She might be hiding chimps in her shirt.
Jennifer Coolidge of chimps.
Yeah. So I'm looking at her. She's a very busty blonde old lady. She kind of has the vibe of a grizzled diner waitress. Like someone who's been doing it for decades, wanted to be an actress, just didn't work out. And she just said, fuck it. I'm just going to smoke cigs and serve corned beef hash. And that's it. She was doing that until she found Tonka the chimp. And then there's one here that's almost like, it's like kind of like she's trying to be sexy with one of the chimps.
I think that's the cover. That's the cover of the documentary. So that's what lured me in.
Yeah, the Dolly Parton of chimps. It's her sort of like the chimp just has its arms folded behind her, but she's doing like a sexy spread semi Playboy pose, like what someone would do without their clothes off if they're trying to like show off their body. She's getting sexy in front of this chimp that's just chilling. So maybe she will start an OnlyFans. Maybe she is gonna
I
cash
don't put
in.
it past her.
She's gonna
need the funds.
She's gonna cash in on her chimp addiction, for sure. It's gonna get
I
interesting.
believe in this lady. Like, she will stop at no. It's just like Tiger King. He's in prison and he's still not. He can't stop, won't stop. He's still trying to get out. Chimp lady Tanya, she will stop at nothing to purchase Tonka Island.
Yeah.
So if OnlyFans is what it's got to be, I believe in her.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, I'm glad that there are ways in society to give these people their space, whether it's, why don't you just go off into the metaverse? Why don't you go off onto this island? Why don't you just, do your own thing over there? Look, private islands don't have a great track record with things that are going on. Epstein, Diddy probably had a few islands.
Diddy had, have you heard another breaking news? It's not even breaking news, but have you heard that Diddy had these like fucking catacombs under his house, basically?
I did see that, yeah.
So yeah, he's got like a house under his house.
Oh yeah,
with no windows and just tunnels.
That's always a good sign when you just you
feel really comfortable with that.
You knock over a bookshelf in someone's house and there's just like a hole in the ground and you're like, where does that go? And then you just get brought out of the room very quickly, like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. That's not for your type of guest. That's for after hours.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So yeah, if this woman wants to, have a private island, look, we let Epstein do it for decades. The government let him do it for decades and they didn't say shit. Let this woman do it for 1 year and let's see what happens on the island with chimps. And, it can't be worse than Epstein. So that's what I say. Give this woman an island.
Yeah. And if she gets mauled, she gets mauled. And
that's
then
on her.
you just have a chimp sanctuary,
Yeah, it's like
it's a win-win.
It's
a
like
win for her. It's a win for the chimps.
And that's how Planet of the Apes starts. People will look back on this as like the woman who brought all these chimps to one island. They kill her off immediately. They just kill her off. They're like, fuck this bitch. They
steal all her resources. Learn how to use computers.
They find, broken laptops. They find technology. They start building houses and then start making weapons. And then one of the chimps takes the ferry from Connecticut over to New York. And then that's how the takeover begins. So we'll see what happens.
Sorry, I just stumbled across Chimp Lady's Instagram. It's at Chimp Crazy Lady. And I'm just like, I should give her a follow, honestly. This is good content.
At Chimp Crazy Lady. Let me check this out.
This has got to be a wig on this lady, too. And for people that can't see, it's like the craziest blonde hair. It's got to be a wig. It's a wig. Okay. That's a wig for sure.
Yeah, she's holding 2 large bottles in one pic. And I'm like, you're not using bottles. Like, why are you trying to pretend? The caption is, gotta feed the babies. We know you're just doing it straight off the tit. Don't pretend. Don't hold these bottles like you're fucking.
She might be past her heyday. You can't produce milk forever, Zach.
Well, I mean, she's very determined. Her body might have made an exception.
She's praying to Jesus every night that she begins lactating again.
Dear Jesus, please let my titties flow with so much milk and lactose. And I really want what's his name? Tanya the chimp or Tonka the chimp?
Tonka, yeah.
I really want Tonka to grow up nice and strong. And the only way he's going to be able to have these strong bones is with the milk juice from my titties, Lord. Please give Tonka a steady diet of just the creamiest, thickest milk from my breast that he can desire when he grows up into a nice, healthy chimp that's going to take over the world and kill us all one day. But right now, I just want him to be healthy. Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Praise Jesus. Amen.
That's every night. Yeah.
That's every single night. So thank you for sharing that. I'm glad I know that story now. I'm definitely going to check out the documentary.
Please do check out the documentary. Because, even with me saying what happens, I just can't make it up. I'm certainly not capable of really just like immersing you into this experience the way Chimp Lady is.
It's a good taste. It's a good taste to get me hooked. And I'm definitely going to dive into the documentary.
Please.
So last week we introduced our Grindr segment, which is things that grind our gears, peeves, things that piss us the fuck off, annoy us. And I thought we could, keep it going because it was pretty fun. So
yeah,
I do have a situation that was really, being a real grinder last week. It was really grinding all of my gears. I was at an Oktoberfest event and I was on the way out. We were doing some drinking. It's going to the exit and there's a bathroom by the exit, and I was walking up the stairs, and on my way up the stairs, another man is coming down the stairs in his full, Oktoberfest lederhosen esque. Got the suspenders, got the hat, and his pupils are the size of dimes. And he looks at me and he says, "Hey, you have beautiful eyes. Oh. If you wanted to do some coke, I could make that happen."
Goodness.
He offered me
Zachary.
the cocaine.
Oh my gosh, you were getting flirted with?
Yeah, I was getting, his.
Was this
he was working
gay
his
man?
He was working his Oktoberfest game on me. I don't know if it's gay or if it was the cocaine. There are some celebrities that have come out and been like, "I've done some gay shit," but there was also the 80s when I was on so much coke. So I don't know if like after a certain amount of coke, you're just like, I'm gonna start doing some gay shit, but. He said, you have beautiful eyes, and also if you want to do some coke, let's go. And I said, one, thank you for the compliment, because there's not.
Two, thank you for the offer.
Thank you. I appreciate it. There's not a lot of male to male intimacy out in the wild, because guys are more of like we're talking shit, making fun of each other. I really appreciate the compliment. And, also I'm good. I'm not on that level.
So I'll pass.
I'm not on that level tonight. And I didn't say this, but I was like, the fentanyl is getting pretty active.
Yeah. I've already hit my bumps of the day.
I don't trust a guy who looks like a German munchkin to test his drugs.
That's true.
It's a good sign that you're still standing, but who knows what's in the bag that you have. But I didn't say that. I was just like, I appreciate it. Good day. See ya. And I go to the bathroom. I come out, and the guy is still standing there, and he's chatting up people in line, and the people in line are like not having it. Like he's just on that sort of like he's
high as fuck.
Fully coke level brain, and I've been there because I've been coked up a few times. I've also snorted my fair share of Adderall in college, and you get to a point where like the words inside your brain are like the geyser at Yellowstone trying to get out, and there's a blockage to the geyser, and it's just like pressing down, and you're like, I must say words, and you just fucking like force words out and the next person you see, you're just like a word heat-seeking missile. And so I understand where this guy's at. He's just like, anyone I see, I'm just gonna say words in their direction. It doesn't matter.
He's trying to get lucky.
Yeah. So I walk out. The guy's still on the stairs, and he turns and looks at me, and he says, "That was too quick. You didn't wash your hands." And I didn't wash my hands. I peed. And I don't wash my hands when I pee.
I can't believe he said that.
He said it.
That's funny, though, because he did catch your ass.
He caught my ass. But also,
men should wash their hands before and after they pee.
Yeah.
Because you're touching your dick.
Yeah, and I was on my way down the steps, and he kind of said it like as I was walking past him. So I was just like, what? Like I don't even think I said anything. He was flirting
with you so hard, Zach. Like he wanted some of that ass.
He might have, and I mean, I did squat the day before, so my glutes were recovering. The muscle was strengthening in my ass area, so I don't blame him for wanting that. But he said it as I was walking past him. And I was kind of like, oh, whatever. And that was it. But in my head, I was like, you're not the one to lecture me on hygiene right now. You just came out of the bathroom, probably
the porta potty.
Yeah, it was a glorified porta potty, like a something you'd like see on
one
construction
of those
sites.
Exactly.
With like the metal stairs that leads up to it.
The trailer ones.
Yeah, it fakes you into thinking it's a bathroom. It's really a glorified porta potty. It's not fooling anyone. Steps, get out of here. You're a porta potty. I was like, dude, you're not the one to. I'm thinking this in my head. Like, how are you lecturing me on hygiene right now? You were just bent over the back of a public New York City toilet, snuffing lines off of the fucking, the back of a porta potty keys, God forbid, off of the actual porcelain of the toilet. Who knows what this guy was doing it off of? Don't lecture me about not washing my hands when I piss. And this isn't an anti-drug rant, because drugs can be fun. And I'm for drugs when you do them in a safe manner. This is more like, don't be a hypocrite. Like if I was blasted out of my mind on a Friday night and I was going out, I wouldn't be telling people about how much I love to, eat healthy and, to be physically active, and you should join my yoga class and like all this stuff. I'd be like, no, we're all degenerates. I'm on drugs. You're on drugs. Let's just be on drugs together. No one here is better than anyone else. And instead, this guy was like,
he was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, this guy was like, that was too quick. You didn't wash your hands. And I'm, I was just like, all right, dude, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're not like, you caught me. One, we're both savages. I didn't wash my hands. When I pee, I don't. I don't think most guys do, but I won't speak for most guys. I'll just speak for me.
Disturbing information. I do know that most guys don't, and it disturbs me greatly that you're going around touching things with your penis hands.
Which makes it even worse, because he was a guy. He knows that. He knows that I didn't wash my hands and that I just tinkled a little bit. And I come out and he tries to expose me for my hygiene when he's snorting gasoline up his nose in off of a public toilet. So my Grindr is that he was being hypocritical about hygiene. It's not about the drugs. It's not about the comment. It's like, dude, you have a million times the bacteria in your skull right now than I do from touching my cock and walking out of the bathroom and spending 14 seconds in there. So that pissed me off. It wasn't like a big thing, but as time went on, I was like, that's
grinding my gears.
It's really grinding my gears. It was a real grinder for me.
He was just feeling himself, and he wanted to feel you too, and he was just trying anything he could just to get your attention, Zach. Maybe he wanted a little love.
And maybe if he was being, a little less hypocritical, if he was like, hey, you didn't wash your hands and I'm on drugs and, we're all savages. Let's get freaky together. I might have been more into that. But instead, the way he said it, he was like, that was way too quick. I know you didn't wash your hands. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, your nose is a fucking petri dish right now. Back off. And that was, be real with me. If you want to get in my pants, be real. That's
that's not the way to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Yeah. Well, that was a good one. And honestly, mine is right on theme, just with the grindering our gears. Something that's been grindering my gears is that there's no actual Grindr, the app for lesbians. So
really?
No. And people, if you know of one out there, please let me know, because I'm on the scene.
I always assumed Grindr was both, like, for gay guys and lesbians.
Okay, so it's definitely for gay men. It is a app that is for gay men.
Yeah.
So my best friend is a gay man, and he's single too. So, but we're at different stages of being single, because he's been single for a few years now, and I am newly single. So I'm not really looking for anything serious. But, I'm bored and horny, and, I just want to talk to people. So I'm, getting back on my dating app game, I haven't been on a dating app in, 5+ years. There's so many now. I feel like a boomer. I feel scared, Zach. I don't know how I'm going to meet anybody. All I do is swipe no. So I downloaded multiple apps because I'm trying to figure out what's the best one to actually talk to people or find people just to hang out and date, and it's already hard being a lesbian because lesbians aren't really the hookup type. So that already makes things challenging. which is probably why there isn't a Grindr. But I think that that's wrong because there are lesbians that are the hookup type. And we need to stop shaming that. So there should be like a scissor app, I think.
Yeah.
And I would join that. I would like to actually make that and patent that right now.
Yeah. And on the app, you could show how you scissor because it's hard to tell how someone scissors from a photo. You could actually film yourself, set it up on a tripod and go, this is my scissor game. And maybe you do it on a pillow. Maybe you air scissor. You just want to show people what you're working with so that you know if you're a good match. I think that's important.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing. So on Grindr, this is how Grindr works. And I didn't know because I'm not a gay man and I've never downloaded the app.
And I'm not a gay man.
I know you've been on it, so you already know how it works.
Yeah. But it was just 3 years.
Just a brief period of your life.
Just 22 to 29.
Just a little exploration.
Yeah.
So my friend, he shows me the app because I'm like, how does the app even work? Because the other thing that annoys me about all these dating apps is they all work differently. So Tinder is just like swipe like right or left. That's like the most basic, except you don't really find like quality people on Tinder anymore. Because they all have moved on to like other apps like Hinge or Bumble. There is a more female-centric one called Her. I've downloaded like a bunch of them. I'm getting confused. Hinge only lets you like 8 people at a time. I mean, that's not right. I got to spread the love.
So what do you have to pay after you like 8 people?
Yes.
That is crazy.
At this rate, I could be single forever. I mean, shit.
The last time I was on a dating app, which was over 4 years ago now. I remember when I started, the first thing was Tinder. I used to be on a college baseball bus, and we would be going from spending a weekend in fucking Philadelphia to play Lafayette on a road trip, and I'm just like sitting on the bus swiping for hours, for free. Just not
Tinder,
even looking.
You can still do that. You can swipe all day long.
Like I'm having full conversations with other people as I'm not looking at my phone, just swiping. Hinge, I remember, it wasn't as degenerate as Tinder,
Hinge,
but I could still press for a long time before I ran out.
You have to interact on Hinge. That's like a big one. You have to interact with their profile. But you can only interact with so many people until you either have to wait until the next day or you need them to interact with you back to get more. It's insane. Okay. That's my point, is that these dating apps are fucking nuts. I am stressed trying to operate them, and I'm mad because then my friend shows me Grindr and it's so much easier. So basically the platform of Grindr is just you get on it and it shows you basically a whole homepage of people within whatever radius you are. There is no swiping.
Doesn't it tell you by the foot? Someone will be 17 feet away from you and it'll be Samantha is 17.8 feet away from you.
Scary.
Would you like to meet in the bathroom?
That is scary, but yeah, it's kind of, so you can interact with anybody. You don't have to like people in order to interact with them or match with people. You can interact with anyone on Grindr that is online at the same time that you are. You can send pictures. It's insane. And I'm jealous because I don't want to be limited to 8 people. Meanwhile, the gays are out there just chatting it up, just shooting the shit, having the time of their life.
They're shooting a lot more than shit. They're shooting shit for sure, but they're shooting things into the shit as well.
Yes.
So they're getting after it.
I know.
For sure.
So I'm upset because it's just grinding my gears that there is no Grindr for girls. I can't even get on these apps for more than 10 minutes before I'm done. I guess I'll just be single forever because I can't be bothered to sit here and swipe through people when all I want to do is have a little date, a little drink, a little margarita, and a little fun. Can a girl have a good time?
I feel for you. And I have an idea. You can run with it if you want.
Great.
Just an idea.
Can't wait.
So you buy a bunch of sex toys, dildos, strap-ons.
More than I already have.
Ties. You could use your own if you want.
I was going to say, I have a whole room full of them.
So you can take your arsenal, you go to that room, and you pick out about 10. And you plant them all around the town. You hide them a little bit.
And put notes on them.
So what you do is you hide them a little bit, but you still want people to find them.
It's like geocaching, but for the horny folk.
A little bit, yeah. And so then you put up signs around town that says, I've lost my vibrator. And then you have a picture of the vibrator. I've lost my strap-on. Picture the strap-on.
What?
And if found, please return to @SamNash. And you have a number. Like, you can pull the ticket from the lost and found poster. And then someone's going to come to your door with a strap-on and said, hey, are you Sam Nash? I saw a poster that someone was missing the strap-on. And you go, oh, yeah. That's me. Also, look, there's a strap-on. There's you.
Also,
there's
look,
me.
I'm already wearing my harness.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
wow. What if you just inserted it in there?
Just insert it in here. Now, the problem with that plan, I'm realizing it as I'm saying it, is that there's no way to make sure that the person who finds it is a lesbian. So it could be like a... It could be like
middle-aged dude.
It could be like a middle-aged divorced dude who's like, "Did you lose your strap on?" Yeah. He's like, "Did you lose your strap on?" I'm kind of into that. And then you're like, "Well, fuck it, my harness is already on," and so you're just
do what I gotta do.
You're just hitting this dude's G-spot.
Beggars can't be choosers,
Yeah, the dude's like, look, I've been straight all my life, but it took a lesbian for me to learn how to love, so I appreciate
God bless
that.
him.
You opened up a new side of me. You opened up a new hole and a new side of me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one way is you just make sort of a sex toy lost and found, and then one day the door is gonna open and you're gonna look into her eyes and you'll just know. You'll be standing there with your harness.
I will.
She'll be standing there with her strap on or your strap on, and it'll just connect. It'll connect like your hearts.
Like a puzzle piece. The strap on
will plug into the harness, like your hearts will plug into each other. And you don't need an app. It's just
I can't wait for that day, Zach. That sounds like a beautiful way to find love. And I just can't wait. I hope that life can bless me like that.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned having a gay best friend. I would also ask that friend for tips on how to be, skank it up with lesbians more, because like if there's anything I know about gay guys,
he's not skanky though. Like I got the rare gay guy that is just, he's not skanky at all.
Yeah, you got the rare gay guy
I'm skankier than he is.
You got the rare gay guy that's like, bathroom sex, ew.
No, absolutely right. He would never do that. Like that's
meeting a stranger in a bathroom and getting
he would never do that
on the spot. Ew.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he would ever do that. That's really not his style. So I got a rare.
Well, that's why you guys are friends. So
I know we're very classy.
Yes. So look, maybe keep my take this with a grain of salt because I haven't been on the apps for a while, but keep it rolling with the apps.
A grain of brick.
Grain of brick. Keep stay on the apps, keep it happening in real life, and just stay open and give off the vibes that reflect what you're looking for. Because if you're going out and you're confident and you're like, I'm down to fuck, like other people are gonna pick up on that.
Okay.
And
I'm just radiating that.
Just radiate the heat, radiate the lust.
Great.
I'm newly single. I'm down to mingle, down to fringle in
exactly
your pingle.
Right.
Yeah. And, the universe will speak back to you. And I'm fully confident in that.
I sure hope so, Zach. Thanks for giving me this pep talk.
Yeah. I see good things in your future for your birthday. After you knock a few kids out on the trampoline, you're just going to you're going to knock them the fuck out. And you're going to look at your fist and you're going to go, I'm going to put this somewhere else tonight. And that's going to give you the confidence. Just knock some children
The
out.
sky is the limit, okay? That's what we've learned from this episode. The sky is the limit.
And that's what you're going to scream on the trampoline as you're knocking these kids out. You're just going to look up and go, the sky is the limit. And all these parents will be like, what's going on? Why is my son bloody on the floor? And you're just like, that's what happens when you step to Sam Nash. So
that's right.
You keep that fist ready. Things are going to happen.
Locked and loaded.
And all you listeners out there, you watchers, keep your fists ready too, because life comes at you fast.
It does.
And you got to be ready to fist in all different ways, whether it's going out on the town, you know, freaking it up in the sack, whether it's self-defense, you know, whether you're just, you know, your neighbor does something that pisses you off and you're like, you're just crunching it. I will kill you one day. Keep that fist.
Gotcha.
Good to go. And unclench that fist if you want, and just tap the subscribe on
that would
YouTube,
be nice.
Breaking Takes, Spotify. Hit us up. Write a review on Apple Podcasts. Comment on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram. Thank you for everyone who has checked out a clip, who's liked it, who's commented. Keep that going for the algorithm, because we're trying to blow the fuck up.
Yep.
And yeah, be on the lookout for a bonus episode soon, because there's 9 in the tank right now at breakingtakes.supercast.com. Going to be a 10th in a little bit. But yeah, there's over 30 hours, 25, 30 hours, something like that of content there. New episodes every month. Head to breakingtakes.supercast.com to check that out. And yeah, that's it from me.
Wow, that was beautiful. Well said. Smash that like button so I can afford to get out of this meth lab and get some better lighting. And yeah, I look forward to the next episode.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Power the fist. Double fist.